And here we are. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another SOULution Sunday, because the soul is the SOULution.
And here we are. Good
now
morning,
I gotta turn this
everyone.
off.
Welcome.
There we go. All right. All right. So good morning again. And today we are talking about recalibrating your wellness compass. And my special guests today are Cathy Hohmeyer of the Lake Clear Lodge and Retreat in the beautiful Adirondack Mountains of Northern New York State, who is also an expert in nutritional and energetics. She is a chef extraordinaire, and we will be talking about food and energy with Cathy. We have Stacey Nye, who is of the Fix Code. And if you don't know what the Fix Code is, you're gonna find out and it'll be amazing. I've experienced a little bit of it and it is powerful. And we have the beautiful Deanna Courtney with her Up Your Vibe background this morning. She is a practitioner of German New Medicine, and many of you already know what that is. Many of you are already familiar with Deanna, and for those of you who are not, you will be. So good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Lisa. Thank you.
Lisa. Hi, everybody.
Yes, so let's get this conversation started by talking about what is our wellness compass. Cathy, what do you have to say about our wellness compass?
Well, my wellness compass, the way that I look at the wellness compass, and it incorporates all you guys. So that's my wellness compass, is connecting the dots between, I'm going to call them dimensions. I know there's different variations and definitions of dimensions, but I'm going to call them dimensions for the lack of, just for simplicity's sake. I look at 9 dimensions and how basically light and source energy comes down into form, and how that creates in our blueprint and in the earth blueprint. So I've been looking at that inside the blueprint, inside the program that I created called Nourishing Your Multidimensional Body. And while I'm known for, yes, I am an actual chef and my own wellness resort, everything's energy, everything is frequency. And I look at all that in terms of combining all those energies, all those frequencies, how they work in the blueprint, how sound works, how the number frequencies work. And I can go through all the 9 levels eventually, and we'll do that before our retreat in June. But yeah, in a nutshell, I look at different levels of energy, frequency, the body blueprint, and how we get our nourishment in all those 9 levels energetically as well as physically. In a nutshell.
And spiritually. Beautiful.
Right.
Wow. Stacey, what is your definition of a wellness compass?
Well, for me, and using the Fix Code technique, is a good word for it would be like a wobble. So that emotional wobble where you're all of a sudden not okay, or you're feeling anxious, or you're feeling pulled back into the past with a past memory of hurt or betrayed, or disappointed or sad. Those are like wobbles to me. So whenever I'm in my life and I'm going through it, and all of a sudden I get this wobble, I'm able to use the technique that my business partner Daniel has created to be able to remove those wobbles from my physical body and the unconscious mind, so that my programming literally changes in a way that my life feels different. So I'm able, with this technique, not only help others, but also be able to, use it for myself. And I do teach that in the moment, in real time life, I get to change how I feel about my life and what's ahead of me, and of course what's the past. So I love the expression, you can't change your past. Well, with this technique, we actually can change how you feel about your past. We can't change the events, but we absolutely can change how you feel about your past. So yeah, you totally can. So for me, it's about healing my past so that my compass straightens out. And then as I go into the future, if there's wobbles in front of me, I can use this technique to straighten me back out. And I love it. And anybody that I work with, it's that same feeling, like there's like this blow up, this chaos going on around them. Their compass is being pulled in 9 different directions where, very quickly with this healing modality, we can just go whoop right back. Let's go. Let's get you where you're going. So with dignity and grace. So that's kind of how I roll.
Beautiful. I love that. I love the term wobbles. I use that all the time as well.
And it's very real. It's a wobble. Like, you're doing good. Whoa, not so good, and it's a thought or it's something happening around you. And we can't stop life. Obviously we don't want to ever stop life, but we can stop very quickly how we feel about what's going on right now. Because what happens is that not only are we feeling it right now, but now we're thinking about all the other things that have happened that felt like this. So now it's this tsunami of this, negative emotion that's now really wobbling us versus just a little wobble. So I call those tsunamis. And I've had many of those, and many, all my clients have tsunamis through their lives where they're hit with it. The good trigger is, a family reunion. Whoop, not happening, not going, not doing this. Those are wobbles, the things that are happening in life that just wobble us. So my goal is to get us back on firm ground, get us going straight, feeling good, feeling strong, feeling grounded.
Yeah, absolutely. Deanna, what's
Yes.
your definition of a wellness compass?
Oh boy, do I have a compass for you. Can you share your screen? Can you allow me to share the screen?
I might be able to do that.
All right, you work on it. So yeah, so ultimately our compass is our inner guidance, and is to be pulling back to the awareness of what we intuitively know. So I was introduced to German New Medicine, which is basically not a modality, but it's the science behind why our body does what it does, why it has disease, why it gets hot, why we get cold, why we have these thoughts, why we wake up in the morning or in the middle of the night thinking about all the stresses of the day. So the compass, that when somebody calls me with any symptom, so you can see this on your screen, correct?
We can.
Okay. I'm just going to try to big it up. Oh,
you had it. Good.
I love my technology. Okay, this is good. It's good enough, right?
Yep.
Got it.
So this is just a hand-drawn diagram of what Dr. Hohmeyer discovered when he was trying to make sense of, he was trained medically, and then he was seeing something different in the people. He knew that the people that had Parkinson's or MS or cancer or all these diagnoses had a huge wobble, had a huge situation. So basically, this is, you can see my cursor, right? So this is balance. This is our daytime energetic, like we're creative and we're good and we're eating balanced, and then we go to sleep and we sleep all night and everything is just this. That's what we call homeostasis, right? So that's our ideal compass, is to know what homeostasis feels like. And most people don't know what it feels like. So we're in homeostasis in our beautiful new earth. And all of a sudden there's this unexpected biological shock, not psychological, but a literal biological shock. And it shocks our brain, and a signal goes down to a part of our body that our brain hits. Then all of a sudden we're in this wobbling state, as Stacey described. And so the tools that Cathy has and Lisa has and Stacey has and I teach is to how quickly you can realize the shock and get that wobble out of your little arena and go back to balance, which basically is resolving the conflict. And then when we resolve it, there's adaptation in this stress state. And then we have these surgeons that are on board. No copays, no insurance, no denial letters, nothing of that. These microbes come out at the right time in the right place and go through the process. And here's where most of our symptoms show up. And then when the big event that usually brings us to the ER, When that's over, we get to sleep and repair and rest, and then we're back to balance. So that is literally the compass that when somebody says a symptom, we know where they are on here, because as soon as one symptom shows up, the rest are predictable. So all the tools that Lisa offers and Cathy offers and Stacey offers are, and I share and learn, are either to resolve conflicts here, downgrade if it's out of our control, and then ideally how to cope and help the body as it heals and goes through this self-healing process. So that is my story about the inner compass. We all have it, but we've been programmed so far away from it.
And Deanna, you clicked out of there, but I just wanted to add something in terms of GNM and nutrition, direct 3D nutrition. The one thing that people don't realize in terms of eating is we all know now that diets don't work, or they work for some people or not for others. But when you're looking at this particular compass in terms of nutrition, depending on where you are, you need different things in your body to either help repair or break down. So we won't go into that now, but this is one way where nutrition is different. It's different than just a diet. It's different for different people because of where they are in this GNM compass.
Yeah. And when you teach them the basics, like this phase is the protein phase. Like you don't want to go on a green juicing diet when you're here because your body needs protein. And what's interesting is if you talk to the person that's sitting there, they're like, they say this is good for me, but what I'm craving is, I want to go out and kill a cow. Like my vegan friend said that one day. And so this is just like awareness. So our compass is really just being aware of how amazing we are, and then understanding and fine tuning, and then tapping into what do I need in this moment. So yeah, it's very it's the perfectly integrative, because we're starting with the science of how our bodies actually were created over time, and animals too. All living creatures run by these 5 biological laws.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. So for me, my definition of the wellness compass is we each have our own compass, our own internal compass, and that compass is set by default to home, to source, to our soul, to our health, our well-being, our happiness, our abundance, our joy. And when we follow our own inner guidance, we're on track. Like we're following the direction of our compass. Our compass is always going to lead us to our greatest joy, to our greatest good. However, from the time we're children, from the time we're born, we're taught, listen, do what your mother says, listen to your dad, listen to your teacher, pay attention to the teacher, listen to your doctor, listen to the minister, and we're taught to start following other people's compasses. You know, go to school. You have to go to school now. It's like, I don't want to go to school. Like, but you have to go to school. So we're taught from day one, basically, to give up our seniority, and that our compass doesn't matter. It's other people's compasses that matter. That we have to, that it's selfish if we follow our own inner guidance. We're taught that we need to think of everybody else. Stop thinking about yourself. It's like, no, we need to think about ourselves. We need to follow our own inner guidance, because when we follow our own inner guidance, we start turning that compass around, because it's when we follow other people's guidance, that's when the wheels start falling off. That's when the wobbles start happening. And when we can start listening to our own and allow our own inner guidance to override the external, do this, you have to do this, you should always do this, never do that. we get quiet and we start listening. And that's when the well-being returns, when we get in alignment with our compass, when we bring our own compass into alignment. And how do we do that? We do that through all kinds of things. There are three beautiful ladies right here who help us to bring our compasses back into alignment. When we meditate, we can start bringing our own compass back into alignment. And when we start to open our awareness to realize that we are far more than just these physical bodies, our compass starts to open up when we realize that we are the soul, we are the infinite beings. And we can start to look at things from a different perspective when we look through those eyes.
Mhm.
Well said.
Yes.
Beautiful. So Stacey, I know like a lot of people have never really heard about the fix code. Can you tell us just a little bit about what that really is?
Yeah, it's well, my business partner Daniel Fleer has spent his life creating this technique. So this really is, it is a new cutting edge modality that we are now sharing with the world. We've tested it for 10 years. We have, students from all over the world now that we are now teaching this to. So yeah, it is new, really, on the global platform. This is new. It's only really 10 years old. We didn't even have a name for it until about 5 years ago. Which, if we look back over modalities, we're just a baby. And I'm just so in awe and blessed that this was in my blueprint, like this got to be me. I'm the one that like kind of found him, and like my story is a little bit it's interesting, I guess. I went through a horrible trauma about 18 years ago and was in post-traumatic stress, but didn't know what that was for many years. I really didn't even hear that term until kind of like 10 years ago. So I spent about 7 years in post-traumatic stress with an infant, with a big business, all this kind of thing. So I was in trauma without question. And my background prior to that evening of the trauma was I did work 22 years with the Olympic Games all over the world. My parents were part of the Olympic movement. I grew up in excellence. So I knew excellence when I saw it. I knew what excellence felt like at a vibrational space. I knew how to be in service to excellence. That was really my childhood programming. I was very blessed in both the imprint stage and the modeling stage, the two developmental stages of growing up. And then the third one was I was launched into this Olympic career. So very blessed. But when I hit this trauma spot in my 30s, this evening, I had no skills. I had no idea that fear like this existed. I didn't know that darkness even was there. I didn't know darkness. I'd never felt it. I'd never known it. I was a high performance athlete myself, so it was like, suck it up, cupcake, do it anyways, get over it, but always in a very safe environment. But yeah, darkness, the horribles of the world, I didn't know anything about, was very protected from all of that. So yeah, when I hit this trauma evening, I went into what I call a personal hell that I didn't know existed. And I kept it very quiet. I never went or spoke to anybody about it, not one person. I didn't even tell our parents. Like this night was not going to define me, and yet it changed my life forever. So transporting myself, 6 years later, a friend of mine said, sweetie, like, we don't know what's going on with you, but you're kind of not okay. Like you're doing a lot of crying. So she just said, I've made this appointment with this guy. He does this kind of stuff, whatever. Your appointment's on Friday. I've made an appointment for you. So lo and behold, I'm now walking into a living room and I met this gentleman. I didn't know his name, didn't care. I was being told to go to this appointment. I was going. So when Daniel looked at me, he said, wow, are you ever sad? And I just started to cry. I was like, really? Like, I was really holding it together. Come on. And just the word sent me off. So he sat me down very quickly, did what is now known as the fixed code extraction. He removed sad from my physical body and my unconscious mind. And as you experience this technique, you can literally feel this thing come out of you. It is, you know, every single person has a very different experience, and every extraction you experience is very different than the last. You go to different places, you feel different things. And it really does physically come out of you. And as you experience it, you'll feel it. And I opened my eyes after 5 minutes and looked at this stranger and said, "Are you freaking kidding me right now?" And he was like, "Oh, is she gonna hit me? Like, what's happening right now? Like, I don't know what way this little girl's gonna go." And because I'm about 5 feet tall and mini, but it's like he was like, I might be a little scared of her right now, because the look on my face was like, "What did you just do?" And he's like, "Oh, can you think of anything in your past that when you think about it makes you feel sad?" And I'm like, big eyes going, "Nope." I was so sad only moments ago, and I could feel it in every fiber of my body. All my thoughts were connected to sad, and I couldn't feel it in my body, not at all, not even a little bit. And I couldn't feel sad when I thought about the memories. It was meant on purpose for me to feel it this way, like this, because the next thing that came out of my mouth, I knew I was in the presence of excellence. As a being, he was excellent as a being, but this technique was off the charts, and this was going to become in service. This is how I was going to be in service to the world for the rest of my life. So it changed my life. That moment 100% changed the direction of my life forever, and I'm thrilled. But yes, I just said to him, "I am going to figure out what you just did, and I'm going to teach the world how to do this. This is too important, and it works. Like, I've tried stuff. Like, this works, and it's elegant, and it's graceful, and I don't have to tell you anything." I didn't even know this man's name. He did not know mine. I didn't even say hello, because by the time he said, "Oh my gosh, you're so sad," I was already crying and couldn't talk. So there is no storytelling. I don't need to tell him nobody needs to tell anybody what's happening, why you're crying. All we need to know, from as a practitioner to a client, is whatever you're thinking about. You don't need to tell me what it is. Whatever you're thinking about, how does it make you feel? And the person says however they feel, and boom, that's the extract. That's the work. So from a practitioner's perspective, we're not therapists, we're not counselors. You know, I'm not training that. That's not what I'm teaching. I'm teaching a technique that helps anybody. You don't even need to know their name. Anybody in the moment, to help them with their biggest problem right now and how they feel. And I've helped cab drivers that cab driver actually didn't charge me that day, because he pulled over and I did the fix code with him through the plastic, it was great. I've helped moms on planes. I've helped little people, and the more people I teach this to and help, and practitioners and moms and librarians and nurses, and we've got a director of a hospital who took this program and said, "This is like the future of medicine, sweetie." And I'm like, I know. I said, we can't fix a broken leg, and those kinds of things. But because we call them parasitic programs, once they are removed from the physical body, you can't feel them anymore. So therefore, the physical body isn't being taxed by these feelings. When we feel sad, we can feel it. It's crunching in on us. Or when we're panicking or having a panic attack, we can feel it. But once we do the fixed code technique, that physical response to that feeling is gone forever. So we are helping physical symptoms. We can't claim it, because I can't say to somebody, "Okay, you're coming in because you feel like this, and we're going to fix it." It doesn't work like that. I don't know where your unconscious mind put this feeling. I don't know. You do, though. Your unconscious mind knows everything. So as we teach this, the unconscious mind, and every single extraction we do, just goes, "I got this," because your unconscious mind knows everything. So it's the way that Daniel has created this technique. It is so quantum that it's so simple. It's like the law of gravity. It is what it is, what it is, what it is. It's an ancient technique that that he believes that he has come here and remembered for us to meet me, so that we can do this. And we've got a beautiful story. I don't want to, like, there's a lot of belief systems out there. So, but this is what's happened to me is, I've always believed that Daniel is an ancient. He believes that he's an ancient elder that has come here to meet me on this planet at this time in 2010 to be able to teach me this so that I can figure it out and help teach as many people as I can through an online training and a 10-week module program. But we never knew my side of the story until about 3 years ago. So well into our friendship and our business partnership. And I was contacted by this incredible woman who's an Anshar. And I was told my history and my heritage. And every time I tell this story, I cry. I saw my half of the story and how I have contributed and why I'm here and who I work for and why I'm doing all of this. And my path is so clear. And I just know that I have to just keep getting up every day and knowing that I'm going to meet the right people who want to learn this and adapt this into their existing practices and just help in the moment where this technique applies in the moment. I love all the other modalities. Everybody's here to help. It's just this one happens to be something you can insert really quickly and get her done and move on. I know Cathy is one of our students and certified practitioners, and Cathy is always telling me how much she loves just inserting this real quick. It's just like a quick in there, get her done and get back out, and the person feels better and quickly the wobble's gone. We do this with fears. We do this with manifesting. Our manifesting program is off the charts. It is so exciting to watch people literally getting what they want really quickly because we can the technique removes the fears, removes whatever's in front of them, removes blocks, removes what's stopping you, belief systems, decisions. We're into hardcore programming sometimes. So yeah, we are new. We are the baby on the scene for sure. But we're good with that. So.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So our website is full of information. And if there's something that anybody is interested in, please click the complimentary session and try this. Like, you're gonna get me every time probably, and you can ask me questions about anything and how does it fit in with other modalities. I've been asked every single question, so I've got an answer for pretty much everything.
Awesome. So we'll have you put your links in the chat so that everybody can find you.
Sure.
And we'll have everybody put everybody's links in the chat, and so we can all connect. But that's amazing. I love that we have a similar Olympic history with me growing up in Lake Placid, New York with the Olympics, and everything was here. Everything was focused on the Olympic ideal and excellence and the purity of sport.
And that was very much when I felt the fixed code. Like I said, at the time, it didn't even have a name. But when I felt it and experienced it, I knew I was in the presence of excellence. And I knew this was my path. It's tried to bump me off 1,000 different times. Oh boy. Yeah, I've gone into fist fights with this technique, in that I've beaten it up. I've tried to change it. I've tried all sorts of things to test it, to make sure that it's as solid as I believed it is. And I've done 10 years of beating this thing up, and it still stands, and it hasn't changed. And it is what it is. It's quite beautiful.
This is,
Wow.
it's interesting because I've had a session with you, and Cathy's done a couple as she was going through her practitionership.
Yes.
And it now, after hearing your story and hearing some key words that you said, it makes sense when I showed where the conflict starts.
Yes.
Like, if you intervene, like as soon as like you're out of the panic zone, obviously if you're bleeding, you've got, like if you're in an accident and you got to take care of the blood and whatever. But as soon as you kind of come to and go, whoa, that was shocking or whatever, you can insert this.
Yes.
And what will be interesting as we kind of start playing together is seeing if it's enough to downgrade it
And it does.
or totally resolve it. Because then what happens after a little short conflict is you have a little twitch, a
Yes.
little sneeze, a
Yes.
little drippy eye, a little ear ache. And so there's where, and then wherever it shows, that's how we can actually tell how the subconscious, how the psyche, that's our word, has
Yes.
perceived the event as a morsel conflict, as a fear in the territory, as a, I can't digest this.
Yes.
So that I really want to kind of open the door to start playing with that concept as well. No,
Absolutely.
I like your word, like there's a law here.
Yes.
Like it always happens. Like
Yes.
your first 10 years was a theory. It's like, and then you test it and you test it and you test it and test it. It's like, try to change it. Nope. Test it. And it always happens. So there's the difference between like the germ theory doesn't always happen versus the law of gravity. It always falls.
Exactly. And I have tested this in both ways, and it every time, without fail, it is law of gravity. And I've been through trauma. So I know what it feels like to use this technique in trauma and out of it. And it is amazing. And I've worked with thousands of people through trauma, through grief. I just worked with one of our students whose friend passed away, like, well, now 5 weeks ago, but she was through grief in about 2.5. Like that is, and feeling good about being able to remember her dear friend and smile and not cry and be so, there's many levels of trauma, but I loved as you showed your graph. It's like I know exactly where I fit there, and we can go here and level this out, in that I didn't know everything that you just showed, but I know exactly where I would go in your system without any knowledge of the rest of it. But I know that the moment I come in and like, let's say you send me one of your clients, when I send them back to you, you'll see that they're much more leveled out. And then if they get another wobble, you're like, hey, you're going to go to Stacey again. And then you're going to come back to me, and we will level out. Their sleeping will get better. The digestion gets better. I'm very much somebody that says, eat what you want in the moment, because you're going through, I didn't know, I don't have your background.
You're going through,
Know that, but it's like, yeah, sometimes I feel like greens and sometimes I don't. Like I'm not at all. So I eat what I want when I want. And my clients, many say to me, well, what do I eat? Like, you're very healthy and you never get sick. I'm like, I eat what I want when I want, because I listen to my body. But that's part of that. I've always claimed it to be part of my athletic world, in that I'm very tuned into my physical body. Always have been, or else I would have been hurt. I would have, I had to listen to my body. I was taught at a very young age to listen to my body, which I still do. So if my body is saying, girl, you need a hamburger, I'm going to get a hamburger. If my body says you need an orange, I'm like, okay, I need an orange. So that's the advice I've always given. Not that but I have no background in training, and I love all of this, because if my clients now say, I really want to learn something about this, I'll be like, excellent, call Deanna, or, call Cathy or call Lisa, because not my field. I tell you to eat what you want. So, yes, Deanna, when I saw your chart, I'm like, that's it. I go right there. That's where I go. I don't know anything else, but I go right there. Yeah.
And this is how I've been trying to tell Stacey, because I know a lot of the G&M principles, I'm taking practitioner courses in that as well. I saw the fixed code and I went, oh my God. And I've been trying to tell Stacey. So this is where conversation connects the dots, and I love it.
Yes, thank you, because I've only had one piece of it, and I knew what you were saying, Cathy, but I didn't know. Like I didn't have a bigger picture.
Yeah, we never really talked about it that much.
Yeah, I just knew that Cathy was taking what she'd learned and was inserting it in the right spots, which I love. And that's one of the things that Danielle and I talk about is, I don't want to know all the other stuff, because I want to be an expert at this, and I want to teach as many people as I can this, so that they can go out and do what they do with all their stuff. Because my mission was shown to me by my experience with the Anchar. I am here to teach awesome people who are awesome healers in their own right. I'm here to just teach them this so that they can stick it in where they need to in that moment. So I'm thrilled to be inside this platform. But I'm very aware that I'm one piece. So for me, that's very exciting because I don't want to know the other stuff. I want to be this part.
Yeah.
My mission. Yeah. So I'm very, very honored to be in your presence. So thanks very much. You guys are out there doing all the hard work.
Well, we're all doing new work.
Yeah.
That's how, I'm like you said, this is like a baby. I mean, German New Medicine is 40 years.
Right.
I mean, Lisa's had her realizations over the knowing all her life, but really amplifying up a few years back, right, Lisa? So we're kind of all coming together, and Lisa, you're muted, and just trying to make sense of all this.
Yeah.
And the other place where the fixed code and these other modalities happen is when we have those long conflicts that finally resolve. We don't realize them because it's like, wow, where'd that come from? We get good with an ex-spouse or whatever resolves, and we go through the peak of healing, and the fixed code can help relieve the panic.
Yep.
When you have panic as a body, it actually creates more symptoms. So insert fixed code there as well would be
absolutely
critical.
And I've lived through divorce, so I've done that too. And I think my life was thrown at me in this way so that I went from quite privileged to holy smokes, like, is this what other people go through? This is crazy. Oh my gosh. So I've done all of those things. So does this work on divorce and separation? 100%. You know, does it help single moms get through those panic, like, how am I going to do this? The fear of finances, the fear of this, fear of a new girlfriend, all of that, done it. And I know the codes that are in there. I know how to move somebody through it really, really quickly. I teach the students how to go after different codes for different, traumas. Yeah. So yeah, I've definitely been action-packed for the last 10 years of a lot of stuff to be able to help as many people as I can.
You sound like Cathy. She has a lot of codes. She has
everybody
a lot of modalities of awareness of modalities, and I know you use the codes a lot, the number codes, and I don't understand. I'm like, how does she learn all this? But go, Cathy.
Yeah.
But ideally, all of it is upping our vibe. I mean, anytime we do one of these things that empowers us to understand ourselves better and ourselves better, then we're further ahead. And really, then when we can remove the fear of success or disease or genetics or all those beliefs that were told to us, when we can remove those and go, wow, I'm not afraid of that. What is left is your true source, like your true mission.
Yeah.
Like I always knew there was something around that, but there's too much cloud. There's too much fear. And whenever there's fear, which is a below the line vibration, you can't find that that true purpose of yours.
Yeah. And that's what we love about the fixed code, is that what I just would say to you, like, when you're looking, when you're thinking about that, how does it make you feel? What is the fear? They would tell me, we'd remove the fear, and bam, they are 10 steps closer to their purpose or whatever they want. So that on that cycle that you did, I come in a couple of different spots where the fixed code could be used, because even by the end, once they're through the trauma, now they want the new life. Now most people stand there and go, oh, what do I want? Like, how do I do all this? And then I just say to them, okay, so you're making pictures of the future going wrong, and they're like, yes. I'm like, okay, you see those pictures, you're afraid of what? And they'll tell me, fear of being alone, fear of doing this by myself, fear of just being disappointed, fear of being let down, fear of looking like a fool, fear of looking foolish, like all of it. I mean, there's thousands of them. And we just start picking them off, and lives change. That's just, it's default. You don't feel that way anymore. You go for it. You forget you felt that way.
And with Zerunu medicine, it's another way of looking at people wonder why their symptoms keep looping around. And it's a combination of all what you guys do. The symptoms keep looping around. Why did that come back? Wait a minute, I thought I resolved that. It loops around. And when you know the compass, when you know how to downgrade your symptoms, when you know how to take away the fear, when you know the SOULution
Yeah.
of the overall area, then it all works together. And it's really, really cool.
Yeah, and I love that because Cathy, you've got so many under your belt that you are now connecting all the dots. Like when you were explaining to me that the fixed code is going to go inside your 9 levels, it's like, oh, super cool. Like that's exciting to me.
And that's where I feel like a chef takes all the ingredients and makes this gourmet meal.
Yeah.
I feel like an etheric chef, and I'm taking all these modalities and the different levels and making the meal, and everybody has their part in it. So it's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you do it at a beautiful location as well.
I do. I do. Yeah, and I was there's a background from that too on why I'm here, and like everybody has their story. I landed here. My great aunt and uncle built it. I landed back here. Married the guy whose parents bought it, and we're here making a new energies labyrinth together. Who knew? So yeah, we've been working for, and yeah, it's all about where you're fixing the energies with people, with places, with things, and yeah, it's quite incredible.
In your place, Cathy, I know you're so what's the word? You don't boast about your place, so I'm going to boast for you. Your place, just putting your feet on the ground there, like you've got some very interesting energies in Lake Clear, New York. Do you feel comfortable expanding on that?
Well, what I know is that a lot of folks who say they can feel energies have said there's a beautiful energy portal here. This is a special place on the planet, and especially for the new energies of coming on. I came here like everybody else. I've been working at it for a long time. 30 years ago, I gave up a job with $40 an hour in the 80s to get $100 a week, and everybody thought I was insane. And then I realized it was built by my great aunt and uncle, and then being told that, wow, this is kind of a special spot. Different vortexes here, different energies that have been that have kind of laid dormant and are now here, which kind of inspired me to build this new labyrinth that is here permanently. It just, in 3 days it came together, and in the hot sun for 3 days, but it came together. And even my husband's like, yeah, we're doing this. I'm like, well, we're gonna have to destroy everything else. He's like, we're doing this. So it's like we parallel play on the energetic level, and things kind of happen. We've got a beautiful lakefront, beautiful woods that I feel a certain spot, there's elementals there just kind of supporting us. So the spot itself, I've done a lot of clearings on different things, a lot of energy work with inside my little domain here. And yeah, I kind of think it's special.
It is definitely a beautiful place to come and heal. You know, it's like the perfect place to, leave the external world behind for a few days, to come and have your own little space next to the lake where it's peaceful and quiet, and you can reset your own compass. And when you're being fed these beautifully enhanced, energetically, nutritionally dense foods prepared with love, and a surrounding prepared with love in nature, it definitely resets your internal compass.
Yeah, I think we have the balance of the elementals here. We have places with fireplaces, we have spa bathrooms, we have the woods out here, we have beautiful sky, and so all the elementals can become in balance as well.
And you have an airport nearby.
We do. We have an airport
right there.
Which is sometimes, I don't know, good, but yeah, it can get people here from the Boston trip on Cape Air in just a matter of moments. Some people actually fly in themselves or have their own plane. But yeah, just 2 miles down the road, we pick people up. Otherwise, driving time. Well, we're in the northern Adirondacks, so we're even close to Canada when that can happen again. We're near the Canadian border.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good. So I'm looking at the chat, and Michelle is asking for Stacey, if the fixed code does not work for me several times, am I doing it wrong, or is it not for me? What can I do?
I would say that, Michelle, have you tried it before?
She has.
Oh, she has. Okay. So it's probably that the code that you've done isn't actually the biggest problem. So what happens is like you're picking out, let's say, the weeds over here in your garden, but there's a massive thorny something over here that you just haven't said yet. So when you're ready to go for the big one, the one that really is bothering you the most, get that one out. Also, another reason could be is that you have many different feelings attached to the same event. So I'm going to make it up. Let's say we're talking about a family reunion. So you could have when you're thinking about the family reunion, you feel sad, you feel abandoned, you feel hurt, you feel betrayed. So every time you think about the family reunion, even though you've gotten maybe 2 or 3 of those codes gone, you still have horrible feelings about that event. It just means that there's more codes to do around that event. And please, if you're interested, book a session off of my website, and I'd be glad to go after whatever is bothering you. I'm here for that. That's my job. Biggest problem, bring it on. Yeah, I would love to work with you for sure.
Beautiful. So Stacey, make sure you put your website in the chat. If you want to put it in this chat here, I can pop it into the chat for you, or you can put it into the chat in Facebook, whichever you prefer.
Okay. I'm not techie, so I don't want to hit a button and disappear.
Oh, that's okay. No worries.
It's .com. It's super easy. And on that first page, go all the way to the bottom, and there's a complimentary session. Just click it and you'll get my schedule.
Cool. And is it 1 X or 2 X's fixed?
Yeah, it's thefixedcode.com is FIXCODE. So thefixedcode.com. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. We'll pop it in the chat in Facebook.
And yeah, a lot of time for years, I basically acted like a double agent. The lodge has always been the lodge. We've had people come here, they book a lodging, they stay for a vacation, blah, blah, blah. In the meantime, I was working on the energetics and learning the fixed code and German new medicine and spirituality, and how to teach Qigong, and because everybody needs enough energy to heal once you have it. So I've been learning these 9 parts of the energetics, you would say, while I was cooking. And now, of course, I've invited you all to come to my place and be together so we can share all this together with others. And I'm combining, I feel like I'm finally, my different parts are coming together. So our lodge itself is incorporating all these things, like even block therapy. You can come to the lodge and have a block therapy class, which balances your fascia in your body and opens your light body to more light and soul and energy. So we're now combining all this in the lodge. And actually, you guys are kicking this off. The combination of I'm not Cathy the Energist or Cathy the Chef and the lodging. I am what I am. So yeah, you guys are helping me kick this off in June. Yeah.
We're really excited about it too. This
Yeah.
is going to be really, really fun.
Mm-hmm.
So what can people expect for this weekend coming up for the retreat?
Well, we do have the online component because some people can't travel. Stacey's not able to come down. She'll come in virtually. We're all, the 3 of us will be all right here. So we have some people coming and staying with us on the property. So it's going to be awesome because we have like I said, the lake, the canoeing, the hiking, the fireside chats, all that sort of thing. If you want to come in virtually, can't travel, or you're from far away, because I know a lot of us work with people who are a long ways away, you can come in virtually and we'll put you right into the crowd. You're going to sit by the fire with us. You're going to eat with us. You're going to have the recipes ahead of time if you want to make it ahead of time. So we're going to make that as interactive and inclusive as possible. Even if you're virtual, you'll get all this stuff. You'll sit at, well, we're going to place, well, you're going to have a table sitting at dinner.
I love it.
So you're going to have your table, Stacey. You're going to put you right there. So everybody has a place literally at the table for this retreat. Typical kind of, weekend retreat. Friday we'll come in and meet. I'll give a little bit of an explanation of the 9 levels of nourishing your multidimensional body from an overall perspective. We'll get to know each other. We'll look at some modalities. Share a few things, and on Saturday and Sunday we'll have some short presentations. We'll be doing workshops inside the meal times as well. One, to make use of the mealtime time, but also to do cooking workshops within that. So we're going to cook and eat, and everybody's going to, what I love about what I do, because I have basically a learning lab that I've had to work 24/7 for a long time, I get to see how the energies work within. So while we're preparing, a small group might say, okay, you've got KP duty, but we're going to show how to clear the space, how to get ready for the meal. When we're done, how to clear the space, how to put numbers on the water so that we up the vibe of the water that people are drinking or that they can do at home. So this is going to be so cool and interactive and connecting the energies that I am just super excited. And then I'm trying to give time for people who are here to actually experience the property, go for a meditative walk, or just go for a fun walk, go for a canoe ride. If you want to go meditate out on the lake, take a kayak out. If you want to just paddle the heck out of your arms and exercise, then go for it. So it's going to be so much fun.
That's great.
Very exciting.
Yeah, and of course, all three. If people don't understand, Lisa will be presenting, Deanna will be presenting, Stacey will be presenting, and we'll get into a deep dive more into what everybody does and to experience it and experience together and connect more dots.
That's right.
Yeah,
Exactly. Really get people tuned in to their own internal GPS system, get their compass pointing in their own direction.
right.
Because we're being directed from external sources, and that direction isn't our own direction. It's not the direction home to source, to self, to our own well-being.
Mhm.
It's
And I think offering a weekend of safety to do that as well.
absolutely. So when we can reset our own internal compass, then we can start to listen to ourselves, and we can get back on track for our own soul's purpose. Because, like Stacey was saying before, she was like, this is why I'm here. Like, I know why I'm here, and I am living on purpose. Meaning my compass is going in the exact direction that I, as the soul, chose before I came in. And then that's when we're really healthy and we're in balance and we're not wobbling because we know where we're going.
Yeah.
But so many of us, because we have been directed by other people in different directions, nobody else knows why you as the soul chose to come into this lifetime. Nobody else has your soul's mission. But everybody else thinks that they know what would make you happy or what would be best for you. Oh, Lisa, you need to go to college because you need to go do this, or you need to go and become a nurse, or you need to go become a lawyer because your dad is a lawyer. It's like, they're asking kids in school. I remember being in school, like 8 or 10 years old, and they would say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'd be like, I'm 8. Like, this world doesn't make any sense to me. I have no idea. But other friends would be like, well, I'm going to be a doctor, or I'm going to be a veterinarian. I'm like, how do you know? You're 8. I'm like, but
It-
because they've been directed already. So
Yeah.
when we get directed when we're really young, it gets really, really confusing because we think we're going in the right direction, but then we find out when we're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, like, oh my God, I've never been really, truly happy. Like life just it's not working. I don't feel well. My body's not working right. And we don't know why. But it's because that internal compass has been askew. It has been going in the wrong direction. And it's not because people are mean or nasty necessarily. The people who are in charge of the world have a very clear idea of where everybody should point their compass. But when parents do it, when teachers do it, they're not doing it to be mean or nasty. It's just, they think that, wow, well, if you become a doctor, then you're going to have a much better income than I did when I didn't become the doctor. Yeah. So
I
being
have
able to reset that compass is so important.
I have a beautiful story of my son who grew up in the fixed code world. He's a fixed code child. He's now 18. When I remember his grandmother said to him, he was quite young, about maybe 10, and they said, like, so what do you want to be when you grew up? And this was the most beautiful answer I've ever heard, and it's so relevant to this conversation. He looked at his grandma with this very perplexed, confusing look, like, I'm gonna be me? Like, I'm gonna be me when I grow up? Am I supposed to be somebody different? Am I like getting it wrong? And in that moment, I'm like, I am so proud in this moment because he nailed it. Like, am I not supposed to be me? Like, I'm gonna be me. It was just so perfect. And I've remembered that moment, and it really kind of managed my parenting style too, because he knew at a young age he was supposed to be him. And so a big part of our world, as parent and child, is be you. Like, when you're you, you're gonna know what's right, what's not right. And that's his compass. He's very much on that compass. He gets it. Like, and he will answer people like, yeah, that's not me. Like, no, that's just not me. And I just take pride in that, quietly, because he gets it. He doesn't do what he doesn't want to do. He doesn't force himself into anything. He's not peer pressured. He's truly me. Like, that's what he is. He's like, I'm me. You don't like me, that's fine. You don't have to like me, but I'm me. I'm not changing for you. And I just thought that was super cool. I learned from a 10-year-old big time. Be you.
Yeah, the parenting piece is very interesting. When you understand what shocks cause the sicknesses, most often for young children, it's parents, their situations, it's daycare, whatever, that cause the sicknesses, the rashes, the allergies, the whatever.
Yeah.
And so when people are learning GNM, they're like, I did this to my baby, my toddler. And my quick response is, but you didn't know, you didn't purposely do this. So when we have this knowledge of the 5 biological laws of nature, we can apply them, we can learn about our child and each child individually and what their fears, we can actually understand them even before they can speak. So I call it, well, it's one of my mentors, Dr. Alvin de Leon, it's conscious parenting.
Yeah.
So then you're just like, I'm not going to force this food, this spinach down my child's throat because it's healthy. Because if that child hates it, they're going to have a conflict if I can't swallow this morsel or I want to spit this morsel out.
Yep.
And so we can honor wherever somebody is, and we can really understand the people around us. And one thing about this nice wellness retreat that Cathy has had in her brain for a couple of years, and it's coming together, is you're not going to hear different stories. You're going to hear the same story from each one of us, that you're not broken, you're not anything less than, I have a little tagline, you're perfectly perfect for what you've been through. Your behaviors, your thoughts, your depression, your psychomania, whatever it is. We are each 2 shocks away from exactly being like the worst person on earth. So we can be just really gentle with others when we have this knowledge. So I'm looking forward to this weekend because we're immersing in this concept of you are not broken. We are all conscious creators, and we're learning how to up our vibe with our food, with our friends, with our space, and you're gonna end up leaving with tools, like a toolkit that you may forget them, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I could put some numbers on my food, and oh, I'm healing. Oh, okay, so I can pull the dandelion, and I can whatever the tool is that will help you remove the fear of healing or going forward or whatever. So I know there haven't been many events like this before. I've been in the G&M circle for 12 years now. And I'm really excited to bring these little puzzle pieces together and really empower some people.
Yeah.
So I look forward to seeing anybody on June 9th, 10th, 11th.
Yep.
Yeah,
Michelle.
2021.
I think it's 11th through 13th, but if you want to come early, that's fine too.
Come early. Well, actually,
Come early.
that speech was for the person that wanted to come early.
Absolutely. Yep. You can come early because otherwise we wouldn't have said that necessarily.
That's right.
Perfect.
Come
There's
early, stay late.
perfection in instance right there.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We had Michelle Ford. I just lost all the comments in Facebook, but Michelle Ford had said that she could so relate to what you said, Deanna, about the spinach. Hers was about beets. She said her dad has had to apologize many, many times for the beet situation.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, have a conversation. This just a little tip on how to clear those up. Have a conversation with the beets and say, it's okay, beets. You are not to blame for any trauma in my body. I'm safe now. Dad has apologized. We're all okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Great. So ladies, thank you all so much for joining me this morning. We are all doing our part to create heaven on earth for each and every one of us. When we have our own internal compass set to ourselves, to our own unique soul's purpose and path, life becomes easy, it becomes fun, we become balanced and whole and complete unto ourselves. And then we can just be me without having to try to contort ourselves into all different kinds of shapes and sizes that don't fit. And we don't have to go through life wobbling down the highway out of alignment. We can bring our internal compass back to ourselves, which is always pointing home to source, to our own source of well-being, happiness, joy, peace, contentment, abundance. So if anybody would like to join us for our beautiful retreat, it's the second week in June. We would love to have you come. Please reach out to us. We'll put the links in the chat, and we would love to see you there. If anybody would like to do a fixed code session with Stacey, the link is in the chat. Sign up. I'm going to sign up. I want to do one. It's going to be great. So we've got the links for Cathy and Deanna in the chat as well. So please, anybody, feel free to reach out to any of these lovely ladies. We've all got different things to offer. So anything you need, basically between the 4 of us, we've pretty much got you covered.
True. Yeah. Nice.
Well, thank you for having us, Lisa. This has been awesome. Like I said, the conversations are where we connect the dots and bring in everybody's just amazingness. And as far as people coming with us, I call them the web strings, the things that are supposed to connect. And even some people are like, well, I'm not really, I don't have an important web string to offer. But if you weren't you, and we didn't have clients to I didn't say work with, but if we didn't have other people to meet with other web strings, none of us would be who we are. And so, yeah, everybody's web string, everybody's little story is important. And so, yeah, I hope we see everybody there.
Yeah.
Beautiful. You
Thank
can all join us either in person or virtually online. So no excuses for you not coming.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa, for this gathering.
Yeah.
Great to set the stage for Sunday.
Oh, great. So do you want to just tell everybody your information, Deanna? Let's just go through and just make sure that everybody has that just in case.
Upyourvibe.us. So it's us because we're all in this together. And basically any symptom that you have, whether it just started yesterday or 10 years ago, I can help you get to the core of it, of understanding what it is and why it keeps swirling around. And I'm here for you.
Great.
We'll see you.
And Stacey.
Yeah, so to learn more about the Healing Center, and if you've got any questions about the Fix Code, it's at the www.thefixcode.com. On the what is your journey, if you go down to the bottom, there's a complimentary session, and that complimentary session is all over the website because we're definitely promoting, try this, see if it's for you, feel it and experience it, and then your journey starts from there, really. So please give us a call, click all the buttons, ask any questions. If you're interested in learning how to do this, that's my jam. So definitely ask me those questions too, because that's really where we're going with this. And I'm here to teach as many people as I can.
Beautiful. And Cathy.
Yeah, I have a couple. The lodge website itself is lakeclearlodge.com. If you do /events, you will find the event for June. If you're doing virtually, it's an Eventbrite link, but we'll make sure you get all the links. If you're doing on-site, then the lakeclearlodge.com website where you can go click summer tab, and then the dates of June 11th through 13th, or the 9th through the 13th is fine too. You can book there, and I can help anything. My phone number is 518-891-1489 at the lodge. I'm happy to talk to people as well. Going into the energetics realm, I kind of put that into my website of nourishing 9D, the number 9, and then D for dimension, so nourishing9d.com. And I also do block classes, which are not necessarily separate from everything, but we do block fascia exercise classes online as well as on site. So that's another thing that we're doing at and from the lodge. And those I have a Facebook page right now called Block Therapy Adirondacks. You can connect with me through there and find out the schedule there, but it'll also be on the Lake Clear Lodge page. So
one thing I want to add to your just knowing your layout is little groups of friends, like 3, 4, 5 people that all kind of are going together on the same journey. It's very powerful to come together and do this together, because the biggest things when you're understanding yourself and how your body works is having that support system. So think about friends in your circle that you're like, because you can also save money when you share the space. Correct, Cathy?
Yeah, our lodgings are a little bit different. We don't just have a hotel with rooms. We have private chalets and suites that you can rent individually. So it's perfect for a group like that. Or if you have a family like mine that might want to go on vacation together or someplace kind of cool together, but not everybody wants to participate. As long as there's one of you in one of the lodgings participating in the retreat, come with your family or friends who might want to enjoy the property itself. We'll have meals together on some of them. So if friends and family want to come that aren't involved in the retreat, you can find a chalet or a little suite for yourselves. If you do have a group of friends who want to experience the whole thing, then that is going to be super amazing. Yeah, thanks, Deanna.
Beautiful. And if you'd like to get in touch with me, my name is Lisa Warner. I am the author of The Simplicity of Self-Healing, which is available on Amazon.com.
And at the Lake Clear Lodge.
And Navigating the Clickety Clack, which is also How to Live a Peace-Filled Life in a Seemingly Toxic World, also on Amazon.com. And you can reach me at connectingyoutoyou.com. Spelled out in full, connecting YOUTOYOU.com. So, and you can always find me here in the Facebook group, Soul Sourced Healing, on SOULution Sundays. Beautiful.
Very good.
Thank you all so much.
Thanks, everybody.
It's been a real
Thank you.
pleasure.
All righty.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.